They say, coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. And we are no different. Introducing Futura, creating the future today. Now, let's meet the team. Up first, we have Group Leader Extraordinaire, Miss Courtney Hart, responsible for back-end development on the mobile and web application. Mr. Karabo Ngobe, responsible for mobile app development as well as front-end development on the web application. Miss Mariah Debuesin, also known as Marley, responsible for the mobile app development as well as front-end development on the web application. Up next we have Mr. Sean Kantuchitani, responsible for back-end development on both the web and mobile application. Last but not least, Mr. Jonathan van der Bregen, responsible for back-end development on the mobile and web application as well as front-end development in the web application. Now, this therefore leads us to, what does Futura stand for? Who is Futura? Well, simply put, these are the 4 values that Futura stands upon, which are reliability, trusting a group member to fulfill their duties in the best possible manner. Transparency, we see it as working for the betterment of the group without ulterior motives. Continuous improvement and growth, we see it as always seeking new solutions and improvements to these solutions. And finally, I think the most important aspect of Futura as a whole, support, the enrichment and help of other team members in order to complete our goals. Our client is Mr. Donnie Smith, part of the BMW ZA Hub Group. Who is Mr. Donnie Smith? Well, he's a former UP student who became a SAP programmer in 2003. He's also part of the business intelligence team and is an IT manager for the data analytics team at the ZA Hub. Now, what is the ZA Hub for those that don't know? The BM ZA Hub is the IT section of the BMW Group, which is comprised of the different departments such as data analytics, finance, human resources, user experience, and many more various IT sections. It is currently located in Menlyn and Midrand. Now, they approached us with the problem. The problem was based upon their current booking system and recruiting process. But let's take a deeper dive to the problem analysis. The problem with their current booking system was employees could not book months in advance for a table, or could they book for boardrooms? So they needed a solution on this. The next issue was the lack of a recruiting system for both internal, external, as well as contractors to the BMW ZA Hub Group. So what did Futura do? The solutions we came up with included a booking system as well as a global recruiting system. Now, what is the purpose of these two systems? The booking system was made to simplify the booking process for an individual and boardroom booking, as well as allow the employees to make multiple bookings in advance, months in advance. The global recruiting system was necessary to simplify the process of fulfilling a position in the ZA Hub. This allowed the manager to make a job listing with ease, allow the job listing to be approved as well as published, which therefore leads to applicants within the system, internal employees or external employees, to apply for the job, go through the whole recruiting process, and finally become an employee of the ZA Hub. But this is not only applicable to South Africa, that's why it's a global recruiting system. It means any employee of BMW can be able to apply using this system. And there are as follows. Next up, we have the system walkthrough.
So when you want to log in, you'll be greeted by this page. It's got very simple buttons to get in everywhere you need to go. So this is just the basic about us, giving a little bit of information, but I'm going to demo now for you with having an admin account and then just creating an account. So let's create an account quickly called Joshua. Let's give him a number. Here we go. Making things quite quick to fill in so it's not mundane. So that. Give it also another. There we go. Then let's give him Bossa as a surname. Let's just make it quick and easy and go to Afghanistan. So we'll set that up. So we'll go to login page. So now this person will get an email. So depending on how quick the server is, it's nice and quick today. You'll click on this, take you in here, and now you can log in. So now if I log in with this email and that password, it takes me to an applicants page where if you've got an applicant, allowed to have an applicant, you'll have this information, this job listings, and a user manual as well that we can go to. So that is on creating an account quickly. Say for instance, let me log out quickly and say for instance I forgot my password. What we'll do is we'll type in that student number there, 142 here quickly. Let's reset that. So now there will be another email that that person would have received. So it's on this account. Let's check here. I've forgotten password. So we go here. We type in our new password. Let's just make it easy. Something like that. Oh, actually, yeah. Okay, so now we've successfully changed the password. So now if we try this new password, it will update and we're back in again. Okay, so that is basically creating, and if you forgot your password, you can do that. Once you've got an account though, you can also change that inside of your profile. So let's log into my actual profile quickly. Oh, I changed the password for this earlier. Now, let's see, which one is it? It is this one then. There we go. So let's update this account. So this is the greeting page that you'll get if you've got actually an employee account with different roles. So here's all the roles on the left and the dashboard in the center. So in here you get your notification, so you can see if someone's booked on your behalf or what table there is, so you can delete those if you don't want to see them anymore as well. Here's the profile. So now say for instance I want to just update my basic details. I can do that by going here. Let me remove that. Let me actually get spacing in there. Let me make me something a little bit more foreign, Slovak. Okay, and I'll save my changes, and because I've done that it will actually close that page. But now you'll see if I open this again, it's changed to the latest things. I can now go change my password here again if I want to without having to do forgot password. So this will actually reset the password. I'm not going to update because it's going to go there, and it gives us success messages for the actions we've done. Now if you want to change our profile, it's easy enough. We go here, let me just choose a graph, change profile, and then once we actually go out of here, and it will actually reload the page, and as you can see here your account has changed. Now say for instance we've got the list of skills and the list of languages, and we want to change it. Say for instance I don't like any of these skills and languages that is assigned to me. Let me go for something else. Let me go for a notification. There we go. Once you've selected it, it will remove it from that because you don't want to choose something multiple times. So this is the list of skills that is not assigned to you at this moment. So let me just add 2 more. So now I should have 2 just assigned to me. Same goes for languages. I'm very English, so I can remove Afrikaans and say for instance I actually picked up French. Look up French and add French to my account. So now I can speak all these different languages. These are dynamic as well as the image is dynamic as well. So if I close this, that is all of the information. So I've shown you how verifying your account, if you've got your password. So one other thing that you would want to also do as a manager is you would be able to edit people's accounts, but also HR department people will be able to do that depending on what roles they were given. So in able to do that, we need to search a user. So that other person, Joshua Bosa, that we created is just an applicant right now. So we can filter according to applicants here. We can filter then also by the name. You can also filter by department, but obviously some of these won't have these departments, so we'll just go with all for now. So let's go for Joshua Bosa. Say for instance we want to actually edit his account. So right now you can see he's an applicant, but now we want to remove that role of applicant and we want to add a role of employee because he is going to be an employee. It's already on the page here. And say for instance we want to also give him a manager and approver. Those are the things that we wanted to be able to see. Let's give him a job position, full-time, salary, decent salary of 22,000. Location, let's make it Menlin. Let's say his starting date needs to be tomorrow, and let's say his end date needs to be in 2020 sometime. Let's go there, and the department will put him in there. So now we can change his email as well to a company email if you really want to, but let's leave it like that just to make things simple. So we'll make that, and we'll get a notification that we've successfully created that account. So now if I go into Joshua Bosa again and I log in, you'll see that his things have changed now. His dashboard has changed to having booking and awaiting interviews, as well as other different things that he can do depending on what roles we just gave him. So that is editing an applicant's account, and that also makes them an employee. Now let's say, for instance, let me log into my account one more time. Now I'm forgetting what my passwords are. It's not this, then okay, there we go. So then now say, for instance, if we want to be able to now edit actually a user's account, so we'll go to search user, or actually an employee's account. So let's go to employees, let's go to Courtney, and we see, okay, she's getting 22,000 as well. Let's actually just change that now to 25, and now I'll update the details. So let's go out of Shepherd, go out, let's go back to Courtney, and 25,000. So that's basically the system with regards to editing profiles and your own and other people's profiles.
Hello, my name is Courtney Hart, and I'll be introducing you to the GRS system. This is a global recruiting system for contractors which enables the company to hire applicants, send in requests, and basically allow external and internal people to apply for a job. So I will be taking you through the whole process, showing you every single individual role of who can do what within the system and who does what and receives what within the system. So the first step of the global recruiting system is when a manager wants to hire a new employee, they'll send in an employee request to the HR department to notify them that they do want to hire a new contractor. So what they first do is they'll log in, and they'll say log in. We'll then go here to our manager drop-down navigation tab, and we'll click employee requests. Once over here, you'll be able to see that you have all of your previous hire requests that you have previously sent into the HR department that are still ongoing and that have not been completed just yet. So to create a new hire request, we'll then go to this section over here. We'll click a justification, so say new position, a job position of a business analyst, and the fulfillment date is the date you would like your new contractor to start. So we'll just say the 4th of January. You'll then enter a brief which describes what you want your new employee to do within the company. So over here, we'll say, I need a new business analyst. Who will be able to travel to Germany, speak German, and work very well in the team. Then if you press clear, it will clear all of these fields. Otherwise, if you press request, it will then send it to the HR department. So we'll say request, and we'll be able to see the job request was successfully added. You'll then be able to log out, and now we'll be able to go to the HR department to see the new hire request. So we'll go to this member, say log in. Then we'll be able to see job request. There's one waiting job request, so we'll click that. You'll then be able to see this is the new job request that has just been submitted, and then over here are all of the application lists that are waiting for you to be confirmed. So we'll click that. And then if you reject it because you already have someone to fulfill this position, you'll be able to click reject. Fill in a rejection message which will be sent to your requesting manager, which is the person who has sent in the request. But we'll say accept, and we'll select the recruiter. So this is going to be the person who is going to work on the job card throughout the whole system, creating it and controlling the hiring process. So we'll select someone and we'll say save. You'll then see the job card was successfully added. The next stage is for the recruiter to create the job card. So what we are going to do is go to that member, say login. Then you'll be able to see assigned cards is now 3. We'll click on that and you'll be able to see, okay, these are the different job cards I've been assigned and these are the ones I'm currently working on. So we'll see OK, business analyst, who was submitted by Courtney Hart. We'll click that one. And now this is where you fill in the information. So over here, we've put the details next to it of what the requesting manager is looking for, so you'll always be able to refer back to it. So job card name, you can say we're looking for a business analyst. Over here, we'll say the start date, which is the 4th of January 2021. End date, we'll make it next year December, so let's just click this, 2021 in December. And the date, we'll make it the 31st. Our introduction will then will be the first thing that your applicants will see. So we'll say looking for a new business analyst. Then description will go into a bit more depth. So someone who works well in teams and is available and ready to travel every 2 weeks for sakes being. So over here we'll say expected to travel, because you can see that we want them to travel. Your publishing date is the date that you want this job card to start being advertised to your applicants. So over here we'll say, okay, we actually want it to start being advertised next week Tuesday, to give our approvers a bit of time. And we want the people to only have, let's say, about a month to apply for this job. We'll then click primary location, which will say Midrand. Working hours, we'll say 40 hours per week. Schedule, full-time. We'll then click next. Now we'll have the different tests. So there is a test that you can add to your application process that will enable the person, or that test the person's skills to make sure they have the correct skill set to fulfill the job. So we'll say, okay, we want to test them in ASP and PHP. And over here, we'll be able to mark it as critical. So if you mark it as critical, that means your applicant has to do the test and they have to upload their results. If it isn't critical, it means it is optional for your applicant to apply for the job. So now say I by mistake added a test by mistake, you can remove it, which will be added back to the list. And we'll say mark as critical because we do want our applicants to fulfill and complete the test. We'll then say next. Then we'll get our different languages. So these are the different languages that you want someone to have when they apply for the job. So we can see we want them to speak German. So we'll go to number 5. We'll speak German. We'll select German. And then mark it as critical means, again, that if you mark it as critical, it means the person has to speak German. Otherwise, if it isn't critical, it's optional for the applicant to be able to speak German. But since it was requested, we'll say mark as critical and say next. Next, we'll add our different skills. So these are the different skill sets you want a person to have in order to fulfill the job again. So over here, we can just say we want them to be able to be an Angular developer, and we want them to be able to work in ClickSense because we need them to develop reports. Then again, if we do it as incorrect, we'll be able to remove one, but for sakes being, mark as critical, as well. The applicant will have to have the skill. Otherwise, if they don't have the skill, they'll be disqualified immediately. But if you don't mark it as critical, it's optional for the person to have. So we'll mark one as critical and the other one is not. Then we'll say next. Then these are long questions. So these are the questions where you need an explanation from your applicant. So over here, we'll say, how do you work in a team? Because we can see we want them to work very well in a team. And how do you deal with conflict in a team? Again, mark as critical means if you mark it as critical, they have to answer that question. Otherwise, it is optional for that person to answer the question. Again, you will be able to remove a question. So we'll mark it as critical and say next. Next are your different requirements. So these are yes/no questions that you want your person to answer. So over here, we will, if we add one, so you'll be able to say, do you have a university degree and can you travel? Now we'll have an expected answer, because obviously some of these you would want an expected answer of false, such as do you have a criminal record? You would want your expected answer to be false, not true. So over here we want our expected answer to be true, and over here we want it to be true, and we want this one to be critical because we know that we need to be able to see if they can travel. Then we'll, wrong one. Mark this one as critical, and then we can remove do you have a university degree because they didn't really ask that. We'll then say next. And now, before a job card gets posted, you have to have employees in your company to approve this job card. So the requesting manager automatically gets added as an approver because they are the person who sends in the request. So if you want anyone else in the company, so that could be any employee in the company to be an approver, you can click this button and add them to the list. Otherwise, you can remove them. So for now, we'll just make the requesting manager an approver. Then we'll say save, and we'll be able to say the job card was successfully added. The next stage, you'll be able to see, if we go into here, business analyst, we'll be able to see the approvers haven't rejected or approved it yet. So the next stage is for our approvers to approve it. So we'll go to the requesting manager. We'll then be able to go to approve job cards. We'll then be able to click on the business analyst. You'll be able to see all of the details revolving the job card. If you want to reject it, so you want to say, okay, no, I actually want you to add another language of English, then you'll be able to type that message here, say save, which will then be sent to the recruiter. But we'll say approve, we'll be able to see the job card was successfully approved, and you'll be able to see it removed from your approving list. We'll then go back to our recruiter, say login. We'll be able to go to our we'll then be able to go to our job cards. We'll be able to go onto select the view. We'll now be able to see that all of our approvers have approved the job card. But now, since we made our publishing date later, but we actually realized, okay, everyone's approved it a lot sooner than we expected, and we want to publish it now, we'll click publish. This now makes it available for applicants to apply for the job. So we'll say log out. But now, since this is an internal and external application server, because we are working with contractors, that means members in your company are also allowed to apply for the job. So they'll be able to go here, go on to job listings, and they'll be able to see the job listing here. They'll then be able to click on the view button, or if we just go back, you'll be able to see that my applications, these are tests they have previously applied for. Then business analyst, you'll be able to click and view more details about it. You'll be able to see if you meet all of the requirements, and you'll be able to complete the test here, so you'll be able to click on the link. So let's say we want to apply for it. We'll then say, can you travel? Yes. Angular developer? Yes. Click Sense developer? Yes. You'll then be able to say, do I speak German? Yes. How do you work in a team? I work in a team very well. And then you'll say next. So once you've answered all of the questions, if you want to change any of your questions, you will be able to go previously. But if you do answer any of the questions that were marked critical as a wrong answer, you will automatically be disqualified. But obviously the applicants don't know about the expected answers. So if we say next, we'll then have to upload a test. So these are our test results. So we'll be able to go here. Just need to find a zip folder. Here we go. So let's do this one. We'll then say, so if you haven't done the test, you will still be able to click on the link, which will open your link so you can quickly do the test, so you can upload your results. You'll then say next, upload your CV. We'll then be able to go to documents, personal, and you'll be able to click on your CV. Obviously here you can see that it needs to be in PDF format. You'll then say next. You'll be able to see a summary of all of the files you have uploaded to make sure you have uploaded the right files, and then you'll be able to say save. Once you have clicked save, you'll see you have successfully applied for the position. Over here you can then see you are undecided, so that is your new status. You can remove your application if you want to. So then once you have applied and all of your applicants have applied, you'll then go back to the recruiter and I'll say you feel like enough people have applied for the job, so you want it to start a lot sooner. You'll then be able to click on this, and you'll be able to say applicant pool, and you'll be able to say, okay, cool, enough people have applied, and publish. This therefore makes the job listing not available for applicants to see anymore, and everyone who has applied is finalized. So now the next stage of this is to come up to your shortlist. So this is where you create your shortlist. So if you say disqualify non-shortlisted, it will move everyone from undecided to disqualified. But now say, oops, I by mistake, actually I didn't see this person, so let's click on them. We want to download their CV and download the test. You'll be able to do that, which will enable you to view the CV and the test. And you'll also be able to see all of their answers to the long questions and to any of the questions. So in case someone does get disqualified off the bat, you'll be able to say, oops, I actually made a mistake. I wanted an Angular developer not to be critical, so let's see everyone who marked no to the Angular developer, and we'll still be able to view their things. So now let's say we've done that. Now we want to move this person to the shortlist. They'll therefore be moved to the shortlist, and you'll say, okay, I've now completed my shortlist, confirm list. Once you have confirmed the list, it therefore becomes the job of the HR manager to confirm your application list, because you do need that double checking for auditing reasons to make sure there's no bias or anything involved. So you'll go to your HR manager. You'll then say, okay, HR hire manager control. Now you can see I'm confirmed application list, business analyst. We'll then be able to go to the applicant pool, be able to view all of the people in the shortlist, make sure they have answered correctly and make sure you are satisfied with them. Then you'll be able to confirm the list. Once you have successfully confirmed the list, you'll be able to log out. And now it becomes the recruiter's job, once the HR manager has approved your job listing, to now interview those applicants. So you'll go to your recruiter, log in, job requests, business analyst. Now you'll be able to go to your applicant pool, click on your three dots, say interview. Now you'll be able to add your interviewer. So we want our hiring manager or requesting manager to go into be an interviewer to conduct the interview. Then you'll say next, which will take you to the meeting details. Let's say we want the date of the interview to be on Thursday, to give your applicant a bit of time to confirm. Here it displays your applicant information. Where? Google Meet, because we are in the time of a crisis. Time, let's make it 10 o'clock. And click save. After you have then made an interview, you'll be able to click on interviews and see you have an upcoming interview where you'll be able to edit and delete the interview in case you don't want to interview that person anymore. Then if we go to our interviewers, waiting interviews, you'll then be able to see, once it is on the day, the new person will show up over here. You'll be able to click on the stars, which will then show a page when the time and the date have met, where you'll be able to make a rating and a comment. Obviously, the date hasn't been met, so it isn't being displayed, and the time, none of these times have been met, so therefore we've already made the ratings and the comments. So once the interview has been conducted, we'll then be able to say, okay, let's go back to the recruiter. Sorry, wrong place. You'll go over here, go to our job cards. So now we'll just go to another thing just so you'll be able to see how to hire a new person. So once someone has been interviewed, their results will show up over here. You'll be able to see the individual interviewers' ratings and their comments. You'll be able then to make an overall comment, and then you'll be able to hire this person. So now once you've hired this person, you'll be able to fill out their employee details, so selecting a job position. So we know we wanted a business analyst, we wanted full-time, salary of 40,000, location Midrand, start date. We want their start dates to be in January 4th, end dates to be 2021, December 30th. Let's make it 31st because that's what we said. And now the department is the department you want them to go into. You'll then be able to add the employee role, so we want them to be an employee, and then we can remove the applicant's one, so they'll just be an employee. Then over here you can change the email address to be the company email address. Then you'll say make employee. Then you'll be able to say successfully created the employee. And that is how the GRS system works. I hope you enjoyed.
Hi, I'm Marley Debison and I'll be demonstrating the booking subsystem. First, I will demonstrate how to make an individual table booking. You go to Booking, Desk Booking, select the date you want to book for, select the building, and select the specific table. And book. You successfully made an individual table booking. Next, I will make a group table booking, which is under boardroom bookings. First, I select the building where I want to book, selecting all boardroom bookings, all the boardrooms, selecting the time I want to book for, the time slot, and it's booked. I can make a booking on behalf of an employee as an assistant. So first I select the person I want to make the booking for, make an individual table booking on the 11th for Jonathan, selecting the building, Roslyn 2, and selecting the table. Made a successful individual table booking for an employee. I can make a boardroom booking for an employee on his behalf as well. So first you select the employee you want to make the booking for, make the group booking, boardroom booking, select the dates, select the building, selecting the boardrooms, choosing a slot and boardroom. That's a maiden boardroom booking. You can also remove an individual table booking. Go to booking, desk booking, and delete the booking you do not want anymore. Booking deleted. You can also remove a boardroom booking. So you go to booking, boardroom booking, go and select your booking and click on it to remove it. Thus that slot is open again. I can also remove a boardroom booking on the employee's behalf. So you select the employee, boardroom booking, bookings, just click to remove it. It is removed. He has no more bookings. You can also remove a booking on the behalf of an employee as an assistant. First you select the employee, want to remove the booking for, you go to the booking and you delete the booking. For checking into your table that you booked, you go to the app, click on check-in, scan the QR code, and you have successfully booked and checked into this table. For checking out, you do the same, you scan the QR code on the table. So check out and you scan the QR code. So you have successfully checked out. For checking the availability, you need to log into the app and then click on check availability. Scan the QR code, paste it on the table, and it will display if it is available or not.
The first one I'll be running through is job card, and then for job card we're just maintaining a stage, so we're just having to display the stages, different stages that happen in our system, whether you're doing a booking or you're going through the GRS system, whether it's from interviewing, approving, approved, those type of phases. And by the test, we have our test, which basically is used to create a test for the applicant. So as you can see, this is the PHP test, this is the pocket calculator, rummy cub, etc, etc. So we've got our normal editing function where you can edit, put all the description, and then we have a URL, and then you can add a new test,
whatever the name you want to test it, etc., etc. And then we have a delete, where you can delete a test, and that's it. And then you go to your table. So our table here, we are able to add a table. So you add a new table, for example, an individual table, which normally would start with an I, or a group table, which normally starts with a G. And then you'll have a table type, whether you want to make it a group or you want to make it an individual. And then you'll select the type of building that you want to create this table, and then you will also select the floor specifically for the building that you're trying to add it. And then group setting, time slot. This is used to create a time slot specifically for that table. So as you can see, this one starts from 9 and then till 1 p.m. and then the number of slots per hour is 2. So, and then you set a slot, and then you have your bookable dates. So these are all the dates basically that just shows they've been booked, etc., etc. And this is used for filtering, whether you want to look for a specific table when you're searching for a table. So you'll search for 152, for example. Okay, that's just taking long to come up, but it's gonna come up, and then it comes up with a 152. And then you have the next one is building. And then you have your building, where we create our location. So this is our whole CRUD for our location. So you'll create your location, whether you select the country, whether it's in whatever country suits you. And then we've got our validations that pop up, because I'm not creating a country, so I'll just say Albania. Location, I'm not too sure about that, but we'll just call it, I've never been to Albania, so let's just call it home. Save, and then home pops up. Then you've successfully added location, and then you'll add a building to that specific location. Then we've created home, and then building name is, we'll just keep it very simple at this part, nothing too hectic. We'll just call it building 1. Save that creates that, and then we'll add a floor to that specific building. We'll select our building 1. We'll just add floor 1 for now. Let's just say it should have 1 floor. And then boom, there we go, we've created that. And then we go to company, and then in company we have department, and then we have division. And then we've got our whole CRUD matrix here. If you want to search, you want to add a department, etc. And then you've got your viewing, which gives you more detail about the team that are in the department, fast coders, these are etc., the type of teams, and also description. This is the information technology department, and then you can edit all of these, Germany, and description, you can do that all, and then you can delete it as well. So we've created basically the CRUD, which is the same for division as well. You have your description. This is the BMW ZA hub in your different departments, which are referenced to these one here, and this one at the bottom. And then your whole CRUD, like, so you can add a division, the details that you want to put into the division, etc. You've got your editing, where you can edit the division, and then you've got your delete. Then next you've got your skill. So this is basically the skill that you want to add, that a person should have, that you're trying to hire. So for example, you want an Angular developer, you want a JavaScript developer, you want an SQL developer, etc., etc. It's also got the whole CRUD system. So this is where we can edit, we can delete the skill, we can add a skill, and we can add a pending skill which you needed, for example, to confirm it. And then you're confirming a skill, and then we have our requirements. So for our requirements, we basically want to ask the different requirements that an applicant should have. For example, one of the questions is, do you have a university degree, which is something that's very important. Do you have a criminal record, etc., etc. And then it's got the whole CRUD function, so we can edit, we can delete, we can add a new requirement. Then once you've added a new requirement, you'll need to go to pending requirements, where we'll have to approve it. And then questions, these are the type of questions you want to ask an applicant. Very good questions do we have, such as how do you handle conflict in a team? Do you work well in a team? These are very important questions that you want to have when you are asking an applicant. And then we have our whole CRUD system where you can add a question, you can edit, you can delete, and then it's got also the pending, it's got one, and then we've got a question that you need to approve, etc., etc. And then you have your roles. So roles depend, it specifies the type of roles that you can have within the system. So you can either be a supervisor, you can be a manager, an approver, etc., etc. The whole CRUD system where you can add a role, where you can edit, where you can delete, etc. And then you have your jobs, the type of jobs that will be available, that you will be, for example, giving out, that people can apply to, such as being a business analysis, a junior developer, a senior developer, etc. It's got the CRUD, so we can create. This is reading, so this is reading, and this is to update. For example, if you want to edit it and you want to change it a bit maybe, or you want to delete that job because it's no longer available, then you have your view authorization. This is the type of auth that a person can have, the authorization that they can have. And then this is the whole CRUD metrics of a view operation. And then we have and then we have a whole operation authorization. Sorry, that's a mouthful. And then you've got your whole CRUD system when you want to add it. So it depends, what are you looking for specifically? Supervisor, and then the role target specifically, let's say, is for a graduate. And then you'll choose the type of database that you're trying to add. So these are all our databases that we currently have in our system. And then the operations that you would love that person to do, whether it is to create, update, which is basically our CRUD system. And then we have our backup storage, that's to back up and is to restore everything in our system. Thank you for taking time to listen to me describe.
Try to get together more to do the coding, because when we work together and you have each other together, you talk your problems out instead of being over a video call or a text message away. You are right next to each other, close together, trying to solve a problem.
Definitely have changed the way that we approach some of the approached the project, starting obviously a lot earlier and trying to break things down into smaller parts that everyone can work on.
The programming languages that we coded in, just so that we could choose a programming language that would fit the majority of the group, just to save a bit of time in learning programming languages and things like that. Also, I would probably just start programming a lot earlier, just because we ran out of time doing that.
I personally wouldn't change anything. The reason why I wouldn't change anything is because in hindsight now, looking at it, everything was meant to work out the way that it worked out, and I wouldn't change it because I learned so many things that I feel like if I had changed it, or if I did have the ability to change it, I would miss out on a lot of lessons. And the second question is, what is my takeaway?
The memories that we made as a group. Honestly, I wouldn't trade these memories for anything, and I believe that everything that has happened throughout this year has happened for a reason. And at the end of the day, it has brought us closer to each other and be able to understand each other better as different individuals.
That you should try and start as early as possible. Push through, keep on pushing, because it's worth it at the end. And depend on your teammates. Do your part, but just know there's always someone who will help and maybe knows a little bit more than you do. So ask them questions and they will help you.
I think it's definitely group work.
I'm definitely taking away my team and like the friends I've made within my team, because you just create such a special and close bond with one another that it's almost hard to let go. One thing I definitely also take away is my time management, because I feel like my time management has definitely improved throughout this year, and my work ethic.
Maybe like a pre-show to how industry is going to be, working in a team, and how my occupation, which is to be a developer, how it's going to be. So it's kind of like a warm-up, like I said, a pre-show. So it's a bit of a warm-up to get us to understand more how industry works, the expectation of industry, such as deadlines, etc.
Honestly, the feeling is bittersweet. It's better in the sense that now there's nothing really to keep you occupied, and you actually see the amount of time that you focused on 370 throughout the duration of the year. But it's sweet in the sense that all the work that we've done throughout the year finally comes to fruition, and the vision that we had at the beginning of the year is actually a finished physical product now.
Being done with 370 it feels quite weird and unrealistic, because we've been doing this project this whole year and it's been taking up so much of the time. So we have a lot of spare time now, which feels weird, but it's quite good. It's a nice accomplishment that we have achieved.
Definitely feel massively relieved that it's finally over, because it was actually quite a massive project and a lot of things going on the whole time, and tensions high between group members and stuff some of the times. But I'm definitely taking away that group work can be fun, even though sometimes I don't really like it, but you can rely on one another. If you've got a really good team, you can definitely rely on one another and not just think about it all being on your own and on yourself.
If anyone in years to come watch this, it is the best feeling. Like, you've worked so hard this whole year, you've pushed this whole year, you've created and become so close with your team. Like, it's just such an amazing feeling to be able to look back and see what you've created.
It feels surreal. It's a bit of a weird feeling. It's a bit weird because it's just weird that it's finally coming to an end. All the sleepless nights, all the frustrations, all the fatigue, just all of what 370 has to bring. Now that it's over, you kind of a bit sad. It's a bittersweet thing. You're happy that it's over, but you're kind of also sad that it's over.
Being assigned to a role that you're not necessarily comfortable with, I feel like that's the biggest obstacle. But other than that, you just have to learn how to adapt to your role and do the best you can in that role that's assigned to you, so that at the end of the day, the team still wins.
Is not being together with the team, having to connect over video calls for most of our project, and not being close together and working together, and certain people having Wi-Fi problems, and then you need a connection and stuff like that. But we got through it. It was difficult, but we did.
370 was definitely just trying to manage what everyone was doing, making sure that everyone got their work done in time, and definitely just trying to always stay the positive and energetic energy. Since I am the team leader, I definitely had to be that person to step up, motivate everyone, and definitely make everyone feel like we could get this done. But at times, like, you feel very drained yourself, you haven't been sleeping, like sometimes you just want to burst into tears, but like you go to a different room and you do that, and then you come back to your team and then like you're perfectly fine again.
I think my biggest obstacle for me, it was just working remotely. I think for me that was the hardest because of COVID. We couldn't go to campus, so we couldn't meet as a group as much as we want to meet. But thanks to Discord is our savior. We were able to communicate. So I think for me it was just the distancing, and it was harder to just communicate because you're always doing it over a phone. I find I better express myself when I'm looking a person eye to eye. So that for me, adjusting and learning how to communicate over the phone, because because you miss out on so much of the body language, and sometimes you might misinterpret what someone is saying. But that definitely was the hardest thing.
What I've learned about myself from this whole 370 experience is that I can get frustrated easily, but at the same time I'm a hard worker. In the sense that I can get frustrated in the sense that when something doesn't go my way or something is not necessarily working out, I get frustrated. But I'm also patient in the sense that I'll never show it to the rest of the group and become detrimental, but rather focus on getting the work done and dealing with this inner frustration by myself.
I've learned that a person can function on little sleep, little to no sleep, and that you can study anything on the internet. There's always a solution on Google. You just need to try and find it.
Biggest thing is that I'm more resilient than I thought I was, and things are complicated, and you can learn them actually quite fast if you put your mind to it. So I definitely think that is the one thing that I definitely learned about myself.
Is definitely my work ethic and the fact that I can be so energetic and my resilience, because something bad happens or something doesn't work out, you literally just you can't stand that dull moment of, this is not working. You literally have to jump back in, carry on doing stuff. So I've definitely learned I'm more resilient than I thought I was, and my work ethic is a lot stronger than what I thought it was as well. So I've definitely learned that about myself. And how well I work in teams. I feel like I always kind of knew I worked well in teams, but not into the extent that I know I can now.
I've learned quite a few things about myself this whole entire experience. I've learned that I can push myself. I've learned how you sometimes need to relax a bit when you're working in a group, in terms of you need to step back and sometimes allow someone else. So I think a lot of humility. I've learned a lot of humility. I've learned better respect, and I've also learned better people skills. I've learned how do you communicate with people who have different personalities, people that are quiet, people that are shy, people that have strong personalities, people who are more aloof and are not very assertive, and all those, just navigating different personalities. And I think that's what I've enjoyed also, and learning to work with different people, from different backgrounds, with different skills. And the other thing that I've learned is also, I've learned that it's okay to let someone else who knows a bit more than you know to take over a specific section if it's not your strong suit. I've also learned a lot about honesty. Rather tell people from the onset if you're not going to get something done today, or if you're going to get it tomorrow. Or so basically I think it's a saying that goes, never over promise then under deliver, rather under promise and then over deliver.
Not to be so uptight in the sense of work. There's always in the sense that you need to find balance in what you do, because when I get focused on trying to accomplish a task, that will be the only thing on my mind. But then they actually told me that I need to take some time out to relax, as well as keep my mental health in check. And what has working in a group taught me? Working in a group taught me that there's different personalities, and different personalities respond to different types of communication. So basically, if you want success in a group, it all comes down to communication.
It was nice working in the group. We are a bunch of different personalities together that worked well in the end. We sorted our problems quickly and it worked. Very good, actually. My group members taught me that to have perseverance and to push through even in the difficult times, pushing to the end, getting stuff done, deadlines, working together, motivating each other, and to always try and stay positive.
one of the biggest things that I learned from them is positivity. A lot of the times I was very negative in the fact that I was thinking that no, we're not going to make it in time with this and stuff, but in the end we did. So I think that's the biggest thing that I'm taking away and I've learned from someone.
He taught me how to trust them and just like how to lean on people. Like if you're feeling stressed at times, it's really nice just to be like, okay, wow, I know if I'm struggling, I can go to one of my team members and they can help me with something. So I definitely learned that from them. And working in a team, like I said, it's one of the best feelings. You have those people to lean on 24/7 and you can just trust them wholeheartedly. So it's really nice to have that support around you.
Previous one, but working in a group has been an amazing experience. Because most of the time you just want to work alone, you just want to do the stuff alone, you just want to work alone. So now having to work in a group, understanding group settings, group dynamics, and that's why I'm happy that we had a module in the beginning of the year that went through a lot of group management. So it taught us a lot about different personalities, it taught us about conflict management, it taught us about so many other things that are so important when you are working inside a group. So I think because of that module, I was able to pinpoint like certain things when they did happen in the group, and I was like, oh, I remember from the module, how do we handle this type of situation? So that's what I've learned, and I think working in a group is way better than working individually, because I feel like as a group, or when you are in a group, you can get way more done in a quicker space. So